Everyone, and welcome back to another lesson of math objects. In the last lesson we talked about the properties of our math objects, where we looked at available constants in our math objects in JavaScript, and we printed out those constants that are default values by default when you try to use them, and the fact that you can use them in your program, in your code, anytime that you need them. Those constants are already defined in the program. Just by calling them by name, then you can use them in your program. Now, moving away from constants, now let's begin to look at math methods. Let's begin to look at how you can work with math objects in JavaScript by using methods that are available. Now, there is a syntax for math methods. So any math method in JavaScript, when you want to use it, so you need to first call the math constructor, then you pass in whatever method that you want to use to it, and then you can add parameters, which is optional if you want, then it also takes a parameter inside the method call after that constructor. So it should be something like this if you want to use any math method. So this is how you call it. So you want to use a math method now, so you call it this way: math dot, then the number or the method, and then you can pass in anything. Do you understand? So this is the syntax. So moving on from that, now we want to look at number to integer method. There are 4 common methods to round a number to an integer. So the first one that we are going to be looking at is the number to integer. How can you make a number and convert it to an integer? So there are 4 common methods to round a number to an integer in JavaScript. The number one is the math.round method. It returns x rounded to its nearest integer. So the round method rounds a number to its nearest integer. The math.c returns a number and rounded it up to its nearest integer. Then the math.floor returns a number and rounded it down to its nearest integer. And then the math.trunc returns the integer part of a number. So you will see that the first one will round a number to its nearest integer. The second one will round up. The third one will round down, and the last one will return the integer part of x. So let's examine the first one, which is the math.round method. The math.round method returns the nearest integer. You can see it. This is the math constructor I was talking about, and then this is it. It takes a number and then a parameter, which will be inside these brackets that you can see here. So this is how you make use of the math method when you need it in your code or in your program. So let's take a look at the examples that we have here. We have one math.round 4.6, math.round 4.5, math.round 4.4. So let's take a look at how this can be done in our code editor and anticipate for the results that this will give us. So we are now on math methods, number to integer. So good. So because this is a method, it doesn't need any definition or maybe storing a variable. We can use it directly, and then it will give us an output. So since we are going to be using it directly, let me just call my document.getElement by id method so that I can easily show the output on the screen. Dot inner HTML equals to math.round. So what do I want to round? So the first number is what? 4.6. So I'll pass it in. Okay, as a data here. and I'm getting an error. Math.round 4.6. Is this not inside script? Of course. Found round native code. So let me check what the problem is. Let me inspect. Sorry, that was a catch. So there was no error. It was a catch on the system. So you can see that math.round 4.6 is rounded up to 5. And why is that? That's because the math.round returns the nearest integer. You can see it. It will round a number to its nearest integer. So what's the nearest integer to 4? That's 5. So you know in traditional mathematics, the way we do it is, okay, 6 is greater than 5 or something like that. So that would be 1. Anything number that is greater than 5, that's 1. Then you add it to this. So that is exactly the replicate of what you can see right here with JavaScript, the way it's been done in traditional mathematics. So moving on from that, we have 4.5 and 4.4. So if we have 4.5, so what will happen? Now we still have 5, right? Which is correct. Now, before the last one, which is 4.4, by the time I change this from 4.5 to 4.4, what do you think will happen? What do you think is going to be the nearest integer? If the other part of the number is lesser than 5, what is going to be the nearest integer? Let's find out. So I'll just change this to 4.4. And now you can see that because 4 is lesser than 5, that is why it's less than 5. That is why we are saying 4. You can see that it can no longer round this to the nearest integer like 5, because the other part of that number is not even up to 5. I think that 5 is the standard in traditional mathematics, if you could remember. So you can see. So if you have 4.9 from 4.4 up to 4.9, it will still be 5. Yeah. So this is how the math round method, this is how it works in JavaScript. So it returns the nearest integer. It's round a number to its nearest integer. And moving on from this, I'll see you in the next lesson as we look at another math method in JavaScript. Thank you. Until then.